Welcome back to Narrative Network. What would you do if a moment of humiliation turned into a powerful display that left everyone speechless? This is the incredible story of Clara, a humble janitor with a hidden talent, and a wealthy CEO who learned a life-changing lesson. What started as a cruel joke turned into an emotional journey of redemption, resilience, and inspiration. Stay until the end to witness how Clara's extraordinary performance transformed not just her life, but the entire company. What would you have done in her shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Let's dive into this unforgettable story. The towering skyscraper of Atlas Enterprises gleamed in the morning sunlight, its glass exterior a symbol of power and success. Inside, CEOs and executives strode through marble hallways, their tailored suits and polished shoes echoing the prestige of the corporation. Among them was Thomas Grant, the company's CEO, a man whose wealth and arrogance were as infamous as his business acumen. In stark contrast, Clara Bennett, a black janitor in her early 30s, moved quietly through the same halls. Armed with a mop and a bucket, Clara was invisible to most, blending into the background like a piece of furniture. Her days were long and exhausting, but Clara bore them with a quiet dignity. She worked not for recognition, but to support her young son, Jamie, who dreamed of becoming a musician. Unbeknownst to her coworkers, Clara carried a secret passion. After her shifts ended, she would retreat to her small apartment and dance. Dancing was her escape, her solace, a way to channel the struggles of her life into something beautiful. Thomas Grant was hosting a celebratory gathering for his executive team in the company's expansive break room. Music played softly in the background as the group laughed and sipped expensive champagne. Thomas, always the center of attention, enjoyed making jokes at others' expense to entertain his audience. Clara entered the room quietly to clean, careful not to disrupt the festivities. She had learned to navigate such moments, blending into the shadows and avoiding the sayings of those who saw her as nothing more than a worker. But Thomas noticed her. He gestured for the music to be turned up and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Hey, Clara, isn't it? How about giving us a little show? A dance maybe lighten the mood." The room erupted in laughter, and Clara froze, her hands tightening around the mop handle. She felt a wave of humiliation wash over her. She wanted to refuse, to walk away, but she knew the consequences of defying the CEO in front of his peers. Clara forced a smile. "I'm just here to clean, Mr. Grant." Thomas smirked, unfazed by her discomfort. "Come on, don't be shy. Let's see some moves." The laughter continued, and Clara realized there was no way out. Swallowing her pride, she stepped into the center of the room. Her heart pounded as she closed her eyes and tried to shut out the ridicule. Then, she began to move. At first, her steps were tentative, awkward. But as the music filled the room, Clara tapped into the passion she carried within. Her movements became fluid, graceful, and deliberate. She poured her emotions into every step. The struggles of raising her son alone, the exhaustion of endless shifts, and the pain of being underestimated. The room grew silent. The laughter faded, replaced by a stunned hush, as Clara's dance transformed into something extraordinary. Her body told a story, one of resilience and strength, of dignity in the face of adversity. Each movement spoke louder than words, captivating the audience. When she finished, Clara stood tall, her chest heaving. The silence lingered for a moment, before the room erupted into applause. But one person wasn't clapping. Thomas. His expression was no longer smug, but somber, his eyes glistening with unspoken emotion. The party ended soon after, and Clara returned to her cleaning duties. She assumed the moment would be forgotten by morning, another fleeting humiliation in a long line of challenges. But as she emptied the trash bins in the office, she heard a voice behind her. "Clara." Thomas said softly. She turned to see him standing awkwardly in the doorway. "Yes, Mr. Grant," she replied, bracing herself for another remark. Thomas hesitated before speaking. "That dance, it was incredible. I'm sorry for the way I acted earlier. I didn't mean to disrespect you." Clara raised an eyebrow, surprised by his uncharacteristic humility. "Thank you," she said cautiously. Thomas sighed, running a hand through his hair. "You reminded me of someone," he admitted. "My sister. She loved to dance just like you. She passed away a few years ago. Watching you tonight, it was like seeing her again." Clara softened at his words. "I'm sorry for your loss, thank you," Thomas said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I shouldn't have treated you that way. It wasn't fair." The following morning, Clara arrived at work to find an envelope waiting for her in the janitor's closet. Inside was a handwritten note from Thomas. "Clara, your talent deserves to be seen. Please meet me in my office today at noon." Curious and apprehensive, Claire went to Thomas's office as instructed. He greeted her with a warm smile and offered her a seat. "I've been thinking about your performance," Thomas began. "You're not just a janitor, you're an artist. I want to help you pursue your passion." Clara blinked in disbelief. "What do you mean?" Thomas explained that the company was launching a new arts initiative as part of its community outreach program. He wanted Clara to lead the dance segment, teaching workshops and performing at events. The position came with a significant salary increase and flexible hours. "Why are you doing this?" Clara asked, her voice filled with suspicion and hope. "Because I was wrong," Thomas admitted. "And because you deserve this." Clara accepted the offer, and her life began to change in ways she never imagined. She started teaching dance classes to underprivileged youth, inspiring them to find their own strength through movement. Her performances at company events became the highlight of every gathering, earning her admiration and respect. Through her work, Clara met influential figures in the arts community who helped her expand her reach. Soon, she was performing on larger stages, her story of resilience captivating audiences far and wide. Her son, Jamie, beamed with pride as he watched his mother transform into a role model for others. "You showed them, Mom," he said one evening. "You showed them who you really are." Thomas, too, underwent a transformation. Witnessing Clara's journey forced him to confront his own biases and re-evaluate his values. He became a vocal advocate for workplace inclusivity, implementing programs to support employees from all backgrounds. One day, during a company-wide meeting, Thomas publicly apologized to Clara. "I once saw people like Clara as invisible," he said, "but she taught me that everyone has a story, a gift, a value. I'm proud to have her as part of this company, and I'm committed to ensuring no one else is ever made to feel less than they are." Clara's performance that night marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. She received a standing ovation from the audience, many of whom were moved to tears by her powerful and expressive storytelling through dance. As Clara exited the stage, she was approached by a reporter who had been following her journey. "Clara," the reporter said, microphone in hand, "you've become a symbol of resilience and strength for so many people. What drives you to keep going?" Clara smiled, the warmth of her hard-earned confidence radiating. "I dance for those who feel unseen, for those who've been told they don't matter. We all have a light, and it's up to us to let it shine, no matter who tries to dim it." Her words went viral, solidifying her place not just as a dancer, but as a voice for empowerment and equality. Meanwhile, Thomas Grant continued to reflect on the moment that had changed his perspective. Clara's dance had not only reminded him of his late sister, but also forced him to confront the privilege and arrogance that had blinded him for years. Determined to make amends, Thomas dedicated himself to fostering a more inclusive and compassionate workplace. Under Thomas's leadership, Atlas Enterprises launched several community initiatives. The company funded scholarships for young artists, created mentorship programs for underrepresented groups, and partnered with local organizations to provide resources for disadvantaged communities. Thomas also began speaking at conferences about his personal journey. During one keynote speech, he admitted, "I used to measure people by their titles, their appearances, their status. But Clara showed me that true worth comes from within. Her courage and talent opened my eyes, and for that, I'll always be grateful." As Clara's career flourished, she never forgot her roots or the struggles that had shaped her. She used her platform to give back, teaching free dance workshops in underserved neighborhoods and mentoring young artists who lacked opportunities. One of her proudest moments came when she opened the Bennett Center for Performing Arts, named in honor of her late mother, who had instilled in her a love for music and movement. The center offered classes in dance, music, and theater, ensuring that no child would have to suppress their talent due to financial hardship. Jamie, inspired by his mother's journey, pursued his dream of becoming a musician. With Clara's encouragement, he wrote and performed songs that celebrated resilience and hope. His music became a staple at the Bennett Center, creating a beautiful partnership between mother and son. Years later, Clara and Thomas's paths crossed again at a charity gala benefiting the Bennett Center. Clara was the guest of honor, while Thomas was one of the event's major donors. As Clara stood on stage to deliver her speech, she paused to reflect on the moment that had brought her there. "Years ago, I felt invisible, like my worth was tied to what others thought of me. But I've learned that no one can define your value except you. Dance taught me to turn my pain into power, and today, I'm here to help others do the same." After her speech, Thomas approached her with a sincere smile. "Clara, you've built something truly extraordinary. I'm proud to have been a small part of your journey." Clara nodded, her gratitude genuine. "And I'm glad you chose to change, Thomas. It means more than you know." As the years went on, Clara's legacy grew. The Bennett Center became a beacon of hope, producing talented artists who went on to inspire the world. Clara's story was taught in schools, and her performances were studied by aspiring dancers. Jamie, now an accomplished musician, often collaborated with his mother, combining his soulful melodies with her graceful movements. Together, they created pieces that celebrated their shared journey and the power of resilience. One of their most popular performances, titled "Dancing Through the Pain," became a global sensation. The piece told the story of Clara's life, from her struggles as a janitor to her rise as a celebrated artist. Audiences around the world were moved by its raw emotion and universal message of hope. Years after the Bennett Center for Performing Arts became a cornerstone of the community, Clara's story continued to inspire people globally. Documentaries and books chronicled her transformation from an overlooked janitor to a celebrated dancer and community leader. Clara's story became a symbol of resilience, courage, and the undeniable power of believing in oneself. One day, Clara was invited to deliver the keynote speech at a prestigious arts and humanities conference. The audience was filled with artists, scholars, and students, eager to hear from the woman who had turned her struggles into an international movement. Clara stood on the grand stage, her presence commanding yet humble. "When I first stepped into a room to clean it," she began, "I didn't think anyone would see me. But being unseen doesn't mean you're without value. Every one of us carries something extraordinary within. For me, it was dance. For you, it could be music, art, science, or even compassion. Whatever it is, let it shine." The audience erupted in applause, with some moved to tears. Clara's words resonated deeply, encouraging people to see beyond societal roles and stereotypes. Thomas Grant had become a man transformed. Through his experiences with Clara and the work he had done to support the arts and underserved communities, he became a staunch advocate for systemic change in corporate culture. At a corporate summit, Thomas addressed a room full of CEOs and executives. "Leadership isn't about power," he said. "It's about lifting others, recognizing their potential, and creating opportunities for everyone to thrive." Clara Bennett taught me that lesson in the most humbling way possible. Under Thomas's guidance, Atlas Enterprises funded initiatives that supported education, diversity, and inclusion. The company's annual Rising Stars program became one of the nation's most sought-after scholarships, particularly for young people pursuing careers in the arts. As Clara's son Jamie grew into adulthood, he carved out his own place in the world of music. His unique sound, a blend of soulful melodies and poignant lyrics, earned him critical acclaim. Jamie often credited his mother for his success, dedicating his first album to her with a heartfelt note. "For my mom, the woman who danced through storms and showed me how to find my own rhythm in life." Jamie's music often celebrated resilience, and he frequently collaborated with Clara for special performances. Together, they created a mother-son duo that captivated audiences worldwide. Their most iconic piece, "Echoes of Strength," combined Jamie's haunting piano melodies with Clara's graceful choreography, leaving audiences in awe. Years later, Clara and Jamie were invited to perform at the opening ceremony of a global arts festival. The event, held in Paris, brought together artists from all over the world to celebrate creativity and unity. As Clara stood backstage, she reflected on her journey. The woman who once mopped floors while being overlooked now stood at the pinnacle of her art, surrounded by admirers and peers who respected her for her talent and her spirit. Jamie joined her, holding her hand. "You ready, Mom?" She smiled, her heart full. "Always." Their performance that night was hailed as one of the most memorable in the festival's history. Clara's movements told a story of triumph over adversity, while Jamie's music carried the audience through waves of emotion. By the end, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. As Clara grew older, she turned her focus toward ensuring her work and values would endure. She established the Clara Bennett Foundation, an organization dedicated to providing scholarships and resources to young artists from marginalized backgrounds. The foundation also hosted annual festivals and workshops, creating a space for young talents to showcase their work and learn from industry leaders. Clara made it a point to mentor as many students as possible, often reminding them, "Your circumstances don't define you. Your passion does." Jamie, now a celebrated musician, joined the foundation as its creative director, ensuring its continued growth and relevance. Clara's story became a global phenomenon. Schools taught her journey as part of lessons on resilience and equality, and her performances were studied in dance academies worldwide. Clara often received letters from people who had been inspired by her journey. One letter from a young girl in South Africa stood out. "Dear Miss Bennett, I saw a video of you dancing, and it gave me hope. I'm from a small village, and people tell me I'll never make it as a dancer. But when I see you, I know I can. Thank you for showing me that dreams can come true." Clara framed the letter and kept it on her desk as a reminder of why Gay had worked so hard. On Clara's 70th birthday, the Bennett Center hosted a gala to celebrate her life and contributions. Friends, family, colleagues, and admirers gathered to honor the woman who had changed so many lives. Thomas Grant, now retired, attended the event and presented Clara with a plaque that read, "To Clara Bennett, a beacon of light, a symbol of strength, and a testament to the power of the human spirit." As Clara took the stage to thank everyone, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. "This journey hasn't been easy," she said, her voice steady with emotion. "But every step, every struggle, and every dance has been worth it. If my story teaches you anything, let it be this: never let the world define your worth. You are more powerful than you know." With those words, Clara performed one final dance, a piece that embodied her entire life's journey. As the music swelled and her movements filled the room, it was clear to everyone present that Clara Bennett's legacy would live on, not just in her art, but in the countless lives she had touched. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more powerful and uplifting content. Share this video with your friends and family to spread the message of hope and resilience. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.